All right, God bless you all. So I'm back after a while, a long deserved break. First and foremost, I want to ask that you hit that like button and share. This is going to be an interesting class. I can't really call it a class. I'm not going to call it that. It's going to be a brief introduction to a series of videos that I want to actually push out to help the people of God learn the scriptures for themselves. And when I say that, I honestly have to give a lot of credit, inspirationally, to Ron Shields, aka Divine Prospect. And reason for that being is because I watched a lot of his videos, and I actually came to realize that people are more interested in reading the original languages more than I thought. So I have a little bit of experience in that, and so I figured I'd share what I know and what the resources over a period of videos, a series of videos that will help people just learning or coming into studying the scriptures for themselves, kind of peel off some of the theological presuppositions and then go back to those and be able to evaluate them, right? So that's been a big thing that I've been trying to push. Yes, honey, I'm making a video right now. What do you want? Your tooth is loose? Go tell your mom. She'll help you. All right, close the door back, please. All right, that's my little princess. One day I'll have her in a video, and so you all can meet her. She's a sweetheart. But anyways, so helping you all work through the text is a passion of mine. Giving people resources to examine things for themselves is a passion of mine. And so it's something I really want to help everybody get to. Now, if you're watching this on a smartphone, I sincerely apologize because this is going to be very hard for you to watch. Reason being, I'm going to be sharing my screen and I'm going to be showing certain things, and the resolution I don't think is going to work just right. But let's see. If you're watching this, go ahead and type 1 if the audio is good. I got a new microphone. I'm trying to make this more mobile and more plug and play friendly. So if you can hear me, just let me know, and then I'll keep going. Let me see. Let me spit this gum out. All right. Charles says he can hear me. So there's only 2 people watching right now, which is fine. Carl Anthony said 1. All right, appreciate it, man. So I took a long break. I have some interesting things coming up, and I want you all to participate in it if you can. It's going to launch probably around March timeframe, right? So I'm going to be launching a project called the Posterity Sake Project, right? The Posterity Sake Project. And what that's going to do is I'm trying to bring about multiple people who want to learn themselves, and we want to learn how to package that for our children, okay, for future generations. Again, I've been watching a lot of things happen on YouTube for a while, and I've noticed that a lot of these things transpire if we don't package them well. The next generation, particularly our children, are going to have to learn this from scratch, right? So as parents, particularly fathers, the onus is on us to take everything we know and to make it teachable and retainable for our children, right? So with that being said, it's going to be my gift to the people, and all I'm going to ask is that you help and support it. There's a few ways you can do it. You can join the Patreon, and I'll post that in the description. You can shoot me an email. You can donate money, but all in all, it's going to come out of my pocket up front. So it's going to be a year-long project. It's going to hit the bank at probably about $1,250, right? And so I'm going to invite about 100 people from different backgrounds, and we're going to examine what we believe, hold it up to scrutiny. Sorry, I said that wrong. And then we're going to dialogue on it. And it's going to take place in the Faith Life ecosystem, in particular Logos Bible software. I'm going to be pushing out in the software, a courtesy of my ministry for everybody else to partake in. So it's going to be a year-long project, and I'm going to be raising funds for the following year and to keep it going for as long as possible. And so it's going to go there. So actually, a lot of the things I'm going to preview here is going to be some of the tools you can use to actually go back and really examine your presuppositions. And so I'm going to be taking you through I guess you can say, a demonstration or an exhibition of ways you can use Logos Bible software beyond just reading translations and commentaries. How you can take the original languages, look at a commentary, and then try and reconcile some of those presuppositions. Some are good and some are bad, as we're going to see. But and there's different types of commentaries. That's a whole nother discussion. It's related, but there's different types of commentaries. So knowing which ones to go to, which ones not to, different type of authors and things like that is pretty important. Without further ado, I'm going to get into it. I don't want this video to be too long. The intro was long enough as it is, and so I'm going to get it started. So what I'm going to do right now is go over to the software. Let me see real quick. All right. So that should be clear. You should be able to see it. So we should be good. All right. So I'm going to use the ESV, right, as a template or as an example, right? All right. So we have the ESV here. Let me move my mic so I can do this a little bit better. Okay. All right. So what we're going to be doing is going through the ESV. And what I want to do is show you how to go just beyond the translation. Let me move some of this out, right? Go beyond the translation and deal with the original languages, okay? But I want to show you the right way to do that, the wrong way, and some challenges you might face, okay? Let me start from scratch here, all right? So on the right-hand side of the screen, my left, your right, you're going to see the ESV. Okay, the ESV translation. Okay, let me actually let me see if I can. Let me make that smaller. Okay, so I'm gonna make that smaller. It's not really a big thing. You good?
Are you back?
Yeah.
What's up? Talking to me?
Okay. And my wife walked in. She's trying to be discreet, but anyways. So if you go to my left, your right, we're going to see the ESV on the side, and I'm going to use Daniel chapter 9 as an example and to show you how to go beyond the actual English language and look at some of the details and what those details actually mean, right? And let's see. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click this, and we're going to go over. Some of you might know what an interlinear is, right? So, and traditionally speaking, right, if you were to buy just the Interlinear Bible, you would see the English on top, or the Hebrew on top, and the English on the bottom, or vice versa. I've seen it both ways. But you'll have one row that has the English, and then the other row that has the Hebrew or Greek, right? So if you're dealing with the Old Testament, it would be Hebrew. If you're dealing with the New Testament, it would be Greek. So what I'm going to show you is how to look into the original language, particularly from Logos Bible software, and what you're actually looking at in a really brief kind of quick overview. So let me see. Let me click on this. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click where it has the Aleph and the Omega sign right there. That's Hebrew and Greek. I'm going to click on it. And then you're going to see. And if you go to the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a series of rows. Right? A series of rows. All right. So it's going to have Surface, MSS, MSS TRL, lemma, lemma TRL, root, morph, Strong's, and the sense, right? So let me see. So I'm gonna break this down, right? So on the first line, you have what's known as the surface. So the text of whatever translation you're using. It's going to show the English language. Beneath that, you're going to have the manuscript. MSS, that's an abbreviation, right? It's just going to be basically just the manuscript that's being used, whether it's the Masoretic text, the Dead Sea Scrolls. If you're looking into Greek, it'll be like the Nestle Allen 28, or it can be the UBS Bible and Society Greek. Or it can be several different texts. It can be eclectic. It all depends, right? And I'll cover those in later videos over a period of weeks. Nothing too in depth, but I just want to show you how this actually works, right? So you're going to have the MSS. Let me see if I can zoom in for you all. Let's see if I can zoom in. Let's see if I can zoom in. All right. Let me see. This should be good. Should be good. There. All right. I think that's good enough. Okay. It's a little bit blurry, but it's visible. All right. So you have the surface again. The MSS. That's the manuscripts. And then you have the MSS TRL. That's the manuscript transliterated, right? So it's going to be the basically the English equivalent writing and pronunciation of that. So just taking the letters in the original language and putting it in English, right? That's pretty much it. And then you have the lemma. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time on dealing with lemmas because most people who are familiar with dealing with the original languages are familiar with Strong's, all right? And Strong's has been used for a long time. I think it came out in the early 19th century. I can't remember. It's been so long since I looked up some of the Strong's information. But basically, it's more close to the equivalent of a gloss, right? Now, a lemma is just a root word, right? So, like in English language, we can use a word like run. It's a root word that has many different, it's a root verb, I should say, that has many different not pronunciations, but many different forms. That's where you get into the morphology, the form a word takes on. And so for a long time, Strong's has been kind of the standard into introductory studies, or it's been heavily popularized. And it's not that it's not good. And the question is, are you using it correctly, right? So when you're dealing with Strong's, know that you're dealing with roots, okay? The root of a word, which is the lemma, right? You can have many different ways that word is expressed, but again, the root is just the basic form of the word. If you don't add anything to it, you get the lemma, right? So then you have the lemma transliterated, right? Which is the root transliterated as opposed to the actual manuscript. Because the manuscript is going to have the form of the word. The root is going to be the root of the form of the word that's on the manuscript, and then the root transliterated, right? So if you look there, you'll see a difference. They're not the same, right? And I'm going to show you why this becomes important in one particular use case. And hopefully that'll kind of get you to look at it in a more serious light, right? Then there's morphology. This is basically going to tell you the tense, right? It's going to tell you the tense. Then you have Strong's, the numbering system, again, and the sense. which is an added luxury of Logos Bible software to kind of tell you the context around it, what the sense of the meaning of the word is, how it's conveyed syntactically, which we'll get at later on down the line. So I want to show you a particular use case, and it's going to be within Daniel's 70 weeks. All right, so let me zoom out real quick. Before I go on, does anybody have any questions off of what I just out of what I just said right now? I want to make sure I don't move on too fast, but I want to get through it and make sure that I get my points across clearly. So if there's anything you want me to explain further, just type the question in the chat, and I'll respond as quickly as I can. Not seeing anything just yet, so I'm gonna keep talking. If I do see a question pop up, then I'll address it, and it gives some more understanding and context. All right, so we are gonna go to Daniel chapter 9, verse 20. Let's see, where is it? Verse 27. Okay, verse 27. All right, now I'm going to click on the word, and we're going to deal with the word strong. Okay, we're going to deal with strong. Let's see. All right, so now I'm going to spread the screen out a little bit, and I'm going to show you what's actually happening here. All right, so if you go down here and you see the highlighted blue portion, like right here, okay, the highlighted blue portion, it shows only one word, right? Only one word in Hebrew. The rest of these is just kind of a continuation. It basically means that this phrase, he shall make a, right, is not in the original language, right? Right, it's not there. So when you're looking on the surface again, we have the surface here. He shall make a. We see that in our English. It's highlighted in blue right there. But when we go down further, there's no sign of it in the original. Okay. Now we get to the word strong. Okay. Now this is kind of interesting, right? Because we see the phrase, he shall make a strong covenant, berith, right? The standard word for covenant. So when he says he shall make a strong, all right. Now there's different ways this word is translated, because it's an interesting one. And I'm going to show you in the lexicons just kind of how to work through that issue, okay? Now it's higbar, right? Higbar. That's the Hebrew word for it. And for my Hebrew, I hate to use the word Nazis out there, I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm saying it wrong in the replay of this video, which I firmly appreciate, might I add. But I want to show you this use case, right? So it says, he shall make a strong. Now in the King James, and I think they did a better job in translating this phrase. It says confirm a covenant, right? And I'm going to show you why I feel that's a better translation. Okay. And I'm going to show you right here. It shows, and he shall confirm. Now the question is, why is it better, and why does it matter right? Why is any of this important? What's the significance of it? Why can't we just stick to our regular English Bibles? Why do we have to have so many translations? And all these things. And these are valid questions. And it's important that we understand why these are questions in the first place. Now, this is where lexicons come into use. Okay. So as I stated earlier, the Interlinear is a good tool. And if you go back down to the lemma, all right, so the lemma root gabar, I believe I'm saying that right? GBR, again, it's all consonants, no vowels, because there's no vowels in the original language. In Hebrew, it's all consonant based. So when you see that, your first temptation it would be to look up the root, right? And that's what Strong's is going to give you. So if I go to the Strong's, which is this number right here, let's see what it says. All right. So it's Strong's number 1396. All right, 1396. Let's see, where do we find 1396 at? All right. So it is gabar. It's a verb. It says show oneself arrogant, vaunt oneself, be overbearing, have attitude and actions showing hubris and pride. And it gives us examples of Job 15:25, Job 36:9. That's the first. All right. The second is to confirm, to establish a relationship with a person or group. The next one is overwhelmed, inundated, formerly flooded over, be in a state of danger as a figurative extension of being flooded over by a mass of water. Okay. Be greater, be more, have a degree greater that is normal. Let's see, and what else? Be in a state of strength and ability, to strengthen. All right. So, and the reason why I say this makes a huge difference, again, is because one says he shall make a strong, right? Shall make, which could give the illusion that something wasn't pre-existing, right? Or if you go to the King James, it says confirm. And with the confirm, it makes it seem as if there is already an expectation of something already pre-existing. So right there from the beginning, you have two different renderings that leave you on the English believing two different things, right? So that's important, right? So moving beyond translations, getting back to the original, that makes a huge difference. All right, so let me see. Let me go back. So I'm going to show you different types of lexicons and how to navigate this. All right, keeping the lemma and the root or the lemma and the Strong's in mind. Okay. So there's several different types of lexicons you can use, and there's a reason why there's several different types. I'm going to keep it basic. I'm not going to go in depth. If you guys have more questions to ask after the video, you can put it in the comment, or you can post it in the chat again. All right. So first, I'm going to show you the DBL, right? Just so you can see, I'm going to give you the information on this particular book. So this is the Dictionary of Biblical Languages with Semantic Domains. All right. And semantic domain is simply just a range of meaning that a word can have, right? So some say the semantic field or the semantic range or domain. Basically, the different types of uses and ranges and use cases for the word that the meaning of the word tends to take on based off of the lexical use, right? So you'll have some that just deal with the Old Testament. You'll have others that deal with the Old Testament and other languages, like some loan words. Like you have Egyptian loan words, you have Aramaic loan words, words that aren't native to the culture, but were borrowed from the culture around, or like Daniel has Aramaic in it, things like that. So keeping that in mind, how that lexicon is interacting with the languages, and its pool of resource for how it comes to a certain knowledge of it. There's also Greek lexicons, but we're dealing in the Old Testament, so I'm not going to get into Greek lexicons just yet. So yeah, this is the DVL. This one is an interesting one right here. All right, this is what's known as a theological lexicon. Um, um, and this one in particular is the Lexham Theological Word Book. Basically, this one takes significant words. It doesn't deal with every word, but it takes significant words and shows its particular usage throughout the Old Testament, right? So it basically takes its significance, right? And it'll show you all the different places in which it's used. And that's important because it kind of gives a fuller meaning or shows you a discussion about that particular word, right? So it's very helpful, again, because words oftentimes convey meaning beyond, it's not abstract per se, it's concrete, in the sense that it has pictures and images associated with it. And so that's where you would kind of use the theological word book to kind of help you navigate that. This is a research lexicon. This one's a little bit different. It's going to give you the different cases in which the word is used based off of scriptures, and it's going to show you how the language is interacted with. And that's important as well because it shows you the different morphology as well on top of that, and that'll be covered in more depth in another video as well as we journey down this road. And let me see, which one is this? Oh, I opened the same one twice. That's my bad. Let me close that. All right. And then here's a commentary on the book of Daniel. Now, I'm bringing up a commentary. This one is actually a really good one. It's by an Old Testament scholar named James B. Jordan. He does a lot of good work, and he deals with the original languages and theology of the Old Testament. And it's important because he goes beyond just what the actual language is, but he deals with also the literary genre and the chiastic structure, the poetic structure of certain parts of scripture, in particular Daniel, right? So I might not make it in this video and to show you how to use all this together because that will take a while, but I do want to give an introductory use case as to why this is important, right? Again, I showed you two translations, the King James, which says in verse 27, and he shall confirm. And then in ESV, and he shall make a strong covenant, right? So, and it's interesting because where it says he shall confirm the covenant, in ESV it says, and he shall make a strong covenant. Again, two very different renderings that on the surface can lead you down very different theological roads of things you're trying to understand. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. So I'm going to go to, we'll do the basic lexicon, the Dictionary of Biblical Languages, right? And it seems to have a lot of the same things we've seen in the Strongs, right? And that's okay because most lexicons that you encounter will in fact include Strongs. They'll include Strong's numbers simply because it's already a source that's out there. It's a resource that's been used. Why not include it? Okay. But just keep that in mind that that's what you have happening here. You have Strong's included and then some additional information here. Let's see. Now I showed you that one. Let me go to the theological one. Go here. That's what I can show you. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about stems too, and the cow stems, which basically shows the subject's relationship to the verb, and that gets more into the language and the syntax. Again, this is just a basic view, so I'll save that for the actual future videos. But again, the only way that you'll really get any real use out of this in the future is if you really invest in it, which leads to my future project. So actually, this video is going on. This video is going on about 40 minutes already. Let's see, we're at 41 minutes right now. So let me actually zoom out, and we're going to pick this up either later this week or next week, because I don't want to make these videos too long. All right. Next time, let me actually switch real quick. All right, so next time I'm going to get into more of the lexicons and walk you kind of through it. I don't want to make this video too overwhelming. I just want to walk you through the use of a lexicon and show to you, again, moving beyond the English translation, right? So I hope this video was helpful in showing you the necessity of endeavoring on that path. If you have any questions, I'll leave a couple minutes and post it in the chat. Or if you're watching this, you can just go ahead and post a video in the comment, and or post a question in the comment section, and I'll respond to it. Other than that, I'm gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna pick it up on another time. I appreciate you all, and God bless.